Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Grand Forks Adult Learning Center and the North Dakota School for the Blind for our 2019 Adult Learning Center graduation ceremony. My name is Terry Bohan. I am proud to be the director of the Adult Learning Center here in Grand Forks. Welcome to all of our graduates. Welcome to all of their families and friends and significant others who are here today, and all of our other visitors. It is great to have you at this ceremony. There are a few people to thank before we begin the ceremony. First off, thank you to the Grand Forks Public Schools, our school boards, our leadership for their support of adult education. Thank you to the Department of Public Instruction, North Dakota State Legislature for their support of adult education across the state of North Dakota. Thank you to Paul Olson and Tammy Purcell here at the North Dakota School for the Blind for their support and the use of their facility this evening. Cara Davis from the TRIO program at UND, thank you for the service you provide to our adult ed students. And of course, all the families, friends, and significant others of these graduates who have helped them get to an achievement tonight. Welcome and thank you for being here. The services that we provide at the Adult Learning Center here in Grand Forks requires significant effort from quality staff members here at our Adult Learning Center. They include Aubrey McNary, Luann Burris, Janice Tanyan, Patty Blair, Michelle Melby, Joanne Smith, Katrina Brecky, and Nick Sitchie. I'd like to thank those staff members, and if you would help me giving them a round of applause for a job well done. Again, thank you all for being here this evening. At this time, I'd like to introduce Ms. Aubrey McNary, the lead teacher of the Adult Learning Center here in Grand Forks.
Good evening. On behalf of myself, the Grand Forks Adult Learning Center and Grand Forks Public Schools, I welcome you to tonight's 2019 Grand Forks Adult Learning Center graduation ceremony. It has been my extreme pleasure to work alongside each and every one of you students this past year as you work to earn your GED. I have nothing but the utmost pride, respect, and excitement for each of you graduates sitting before and amongst us today. I spent the last 7 years of my life as a high school English teacher, something that I don't really share very often. A girl can only take so many responses of, oh, English, I'm getting that class, it was my least favorite, You just reply politely, I work with juniors and seniors and help prepare them for the workforce in college. But this year was completely different. As I shared with people that I work in the adult learning program and help students who've chosen to come back to school earn their GEDs, people were again never impressed with me. It's fine, I've got a hard skin now. But they would always reply with some sort of, wow, I don't know that I can do my GED. I don't think I'd have the discipline to go back. And friends, that's very true. I commend you today for what it is that you've accomplished. You sacrificed your time, your energy, your sleep, and other resources, I'm sure, as you chose to return to school and earn your GED. Please hear me again. I'm very proud of each of you. Please allow yourself to be proud of you as well. Family and friends, thank you for the support you provided our graduates today. Life is not meant to be done alone, and in many ways, we've completed this GED journey together. My job would not be possible without the love and support you provided to our once students, now graduates, and I thank you for that. If anybody in the audience is wanting to start a GED journey of their own, please come find me tonight after the ceremony. I'd love to talk to you and help you join our rows of graduates next spring. I find great truth in the phrase that it takes one to know one, and I believe that where we have one person who is focused and dedicated to earn a GED, we surely have another, as you can see by our 2 rows of graduates tonight. Please reach out to me, and we'll work to make your GED journey happen next year. I want to frame this ceremony with the thought that school should not and cannot be the end. I come from a family of teachers. Both my parents were teachers, and when I went to college, I was not going to become a teacher, because both my parents were teachers. Didn't work out so well. My dad spent a lot of time telling me you need to be a teacher. teacher, you need to be a coach, it's your gift. And I was like, no, Dad, I'm going to go be a doctor. Turns out you need a little bit more passion than watching Grey's Anatomy to become a doctor. Sorry, lesson learned. However, something that my dad has spoken to me time and time again is this idea from Mark Twain that says, I have never let schooling interfere with my education. Growing up as a child of a teacher, two teachers rather, I always kind of rolled my eyes and was like, okay, Dad, like, that works. But my friends, it's so true. A very strong truth resonates in this thought, and it is one that you GED graduates demonstrated to me throughout this school year, as we accurately solved reading, writing, math, and science problems, and especially the math problems, in a way learned only by doing life. I would look at some of your work and I would say, how did you get this? And you could explain it bit by bit. And you would reference little pieces of lessons learned along the way, and it works. You did real-world math, and that's what counts. I've learned so much about reasoning and applying real-world principles, and thank you for showing me life beyond the textbook. Never letting schooling interfere with your education is a truth that I encourage you to take with you as you continue to navigate life. You've accomplished well in earning your GED, but continue to learn, continue to grow, and continue to challenge the way it's always been taught when you find a way that works in the real world, because education only counts in the real world. I myself finished graduate school this spring and have taken studying up lawn care and gardening just because I can. I won't get a degree or a certificate, but I will get the reward of seeing my lawn and flower beds emerge from their spring slump to healthy summer growth and bloom. I will enjoy it, and I'm sure my neighbors will too. But continue to push yourself about that which interests you. Find something new and exciting and make it your hobby, if not also your passion. Learn about whatever you want, just because you can. We've dedicated this night to celebrate your current learning achievement, and again, I congratulate you. Sit in this accomplishment, but let it be the springboard for something else. Congratulations, graduates of 2019. I'm very proud of you, and I'm excited to celebrate you tonight. Moving forward, we have a student who would like to share with us a poem that frames what the educational journey has been for many of us at one time or another. Edgar Guest is a British poet, but I promise this isn't a bad one. You're seeing my English teacher here. This is a good British poem, whose work often captured the emotion and the sentiment that we humans feel in life. Tonight, Ms. Emily Friesen, a 2019 ALC graduate, will read for us Guest's poem titled, It Couldn't Be Done. I am guessing that any one of us, at one time or another, heard and or felt that finishing our education couldn't be done. However, you have each proven that wrong in donning your cap and gown tonight. Please help me welcome to the stage, Ms. Emily Friesen.
Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he wouldn't shut the reply. Now maybe it could, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with the trace of a grin on his face. He worried he did it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that." I wish no one ever has done it. But he took off his clothes, and he took off his hat, and the first very year he began it, with a lip in the shed and a bit of it room, without any doubting or flippant, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to promise in favor. There are thousands to point out to you one by one. The end result went to a failure. I just buckled in with a bit of a friend to take off her cloak and go to it. To start in to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it.
Thank you, Emily. Also sharing with us tonight is Ms. Cara Cara Davis, Assistant Director at the Trio Educational Opportunity Center. I don't know if Cara remembers or not, but she actually interviewed me for a job about 4 years ago. That particular job didn't work out, but that's okay. I remember being bummed though, because as I was applying for teaching jobs at that point in my life, I was looking for an opportunity to practice education in a way that serves great purpose, and I found the meaning of Trio to be just that. I left that interview being encouraged and inspired to better understand the mission of Trio and the actual work they do to support students, in the same way that maybe I could bring some of those thoughts and ideas into my own classroom. The practical support Cara and her staff provide the ALC students is outstanding. She empowers our students, advocates for them, and assists in taking the next step past the GED. She is with us every Thursday and without fail has a smile on her face no matter how confused and disorganized I am that day, and she works to meet each student's thoughts and needs. I am ever so grateful that I actually get a chance to work with Cara today, and I ask you that you help me welcome her to the stage.
Thank you, Aubrey. Graduates of 2019, congratulations, you did it. Please take a moment to acknowledge all of your hard work and your major accomplishment. You should all be very proud of yourselves. Also, I encourage you to take a minute and think back to where you were 1 year ago and compare that to where you are today as graduates. Pretty amazing what you've accomplished. You compare a year from now, or to now. I always tell students, education is a gift. It's something that once you've earned it, it cannot be taken away. It's yours and it's yours to keep. That's the most beautiful thing about it. The next best thing is that it opens doors. I tell students it opens doors to jobs and it opens doors to more education. And that's kind of where I come in. If you're thinking about college, I'm here to help. I've met with many of you already, but if any of you are thinking about college, my job is to work with the ALC students in completing college applications, going on tours, filling out the financial aid application to make sure they have money to pay for college. It's not too late. I can still help. So my name is Cara Davis. I work at the Trio Educational Opportunity Center out of UND. I work at UND, but I don't work for the university. I work for a federal grant program, and like I said, we help students with their plans, particularly going to college after graduation. Working with GED students is one of the most favorite parts of my job. I love working with adult learners. They're motivated, and it always amazes me how driven they are by their goals. I want to remind the graduates and everyone sitting in the audience that college can look different for a variety of reasons. College can be part-time, it can be full-time, it can be online, it can be in the classroom. It can be going to school for a semester and getting a certificate. It can be going to a community college and earning a 2-year associate's degree or going for a technical program. Or it can be going on for a 4-year bachelor's degree at a university. So keep an open mind. The GED opens up, like I said, a lot of doors. I encourage you to think about, I mentioned earlier, thinking back 1 year ago, where were you compared to where you are today? I also, kind of echoing what Aubrey said about continuing on with learning, think about where you want to be in 2 years from now. In 2 years from now, you could have a 2-year associate's degree. Okay, so keep thinking forward. What do you want next for yourself? While tonight's accomplishment is a major one, what do you want next? Again, if you need help with your plans, I work year-round while the Adult Learning Center is wrapping up for the school year. I'm available during the summer. Please reach out to me. I'm here to help. And once again, congratulations. Thank you.
Tonight we have the chance to recognize 2 students for outstanding accomplishment in their GED preparation and achievement. The GED is comprised of 4 exams: math, science, social studies, and reasoning through language arts, based on a scale of 100 to 200. A score of 165 is considered college ready, and a score of 175 is considered to be college ready plus credit. For example, if a student has earned a 175 or higher on any individual test, they would qualify for college credits. The University of North Dakota honors as of January 2018. 2 young men are going to be recognized tonight for earning superior scores in their preparation. Michelle and Katrina, if you would come to the stage. First of all, we're going to congratulate a student for achieving a score of 167 on one of his preparation exams. I'd like to congratulate Chase Boudreau for earning a score of 167 on his science test. Chase, please come forward and accept your certificate of achievement. On January 30th, 2015, Governor at the time, Dalrymple, signed into law House Bill 1087 relating to the demonstration of proficiency in civics as a condition of North Dakota High School graduation and completion. The intent of this bill is to ensure that North Dakota students are knowledgeable citizens. Superintendent Basler stated the next generation of North Dakotans need to know about the foundations of our republic. We need to make sure these traditions last forever. Our veterans fought and died for hundreds of years to preserve these traditions. It is our sacred duty to teach these traditions to our children. The civics exam is the 5th test to qualify for your GET through the state of North Dakota. This test is 100 multiple choice questions, and we had 2 students earn perfect scores this year. A passing score is 70, so to have earned a perfect score of 100 is to go above and beyond, and then some. Michelle Wack, one of our graduates, earned a perfect score, but she is unable to join us tonight. Our other student is with us tonight. I'd like to take the time to graduate Dakota Martin for earning a perfect score in North Dakota. I would like to share with you tonight a video that was shared with me earlier this week by a GED graduate also unable to join us tonight. Janelle Schmeling is attending the birth of grandbaby number 12, otherwise she would be here, but she suggested this video as one to share with all of you. As I was researching inspirational speeches, videos, those sorts of things, she just heard the beginning of Dr. Rigsby's voice. And she got super excited, kind of flung her pencil in the air, and said, "I love his talk. What he says is so true." And I said to her, "I'm thinking about sharing it at graduation." She said, "Please do." So this video comes to you guys from both me and Janelle. Tonight I'm sharing with you Dr. Rigsby's talk, Lessons from a Third Grade Dropout.
Impact. It's about doing your best. I learned how to make an impact from the wisest person I ever met in my life, a 3rd grade dropout. Wisest and dropout in the same sentence is rather oxymoronic, like jumbo shrimp. Like fun run, ain't nothing fun about it. Like Microsoft Works, y'all don't hear me. I used to say like country music, but I've lived in Texas so long, I love country music now. I hunt, I fish, I have cowboy boots and cowboy, y'all, I'm a black neck redneck. Do you hear what I'm saying? No longer oxymoronic for me to say country music. And it's not oxymoronic for me to say 3rd grade and dropout. That 3rd grade dropout, the wisest person I ever met in my life, who taught me to combine knowledge and wisdom to make an impact was my father. My daddy grew up in the piney woods of East Texas, a little town called Huntsville, Texas. After World War II was over, my father decided to be the only one in his family to migrate west. And in the 1950s, he found his way to the San Francisco Bay Area. Fell in love with a forklift driver. My mother was a bad mamma jamma, let me tell you right now. Didn't need a man, he was just there. My mother was a forklift driver over at the Benicia Arsenal, where she would provide the services to support the war efforts during World War II. In the 50s, my mother and father get married, and they migrate to this area. My father gets a job as a cook, a simple cook. Wisest man I ever met in my life. Just a simple cook at some school called California Maritime Academy. Oh, come on with your call. You have no idea how thrilled I am to be here. This is so emotional. This may be my favorite speech of all time, because y'all are my family. I can't wait to take a picture with you. I grew up on this campus. I was born and reared here. Lived at 1141 Louisiana Street, Vallejo, California, 94590. My dad used to work in something called the galley, the mess hall. Now it's the dining center. And it's a nice one. My father, wisest man I ever met in my life, left school in the 3rd grade to help out on the family farm, but just because he left school doesn't mean his education stopped. Mark Twain once said, "I've never allowed my schooling to get in the way of my education." My father taught himself how to read, taught himself how to write, decided in the midst of Jim Crowism, as America was breathing the last gasp of the Civil War, my father decided he was going to stand and be a man. Not a black man, not a brown man, not a white man, but a man. He literally challenged himself to be the best that he could all the days of his life. I want to share something with you. The wisest man I ever met in my life never made it past the 3rd grade, impacted tremendously me and my brother. Growing up right here in Vallejo, this was our family. This academy was our backyard. Going on that training ship and getting lost, sneaking into the pool, going to all the different places for nearly 30 years. This was home. And I want to tell you, I know what it takes to get where you are. And I need you to listen to me very carefully. I have 4 degrees. My brother is a judge. We're not the smartest ones in our family. It's a 3rd grade dropout daddy. A 3rd grade dropout daddy who was quoting Michelangelo when he was a cook at Cal Maritime, saying to us, "Boys, I won't have a problem if you aim high and miss, but I'm going to have a real issue if you aim low and hit." A country mother quoting Henry Ford, saying, "If you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right." You see, it takes knowledge and wisdom combined to grow your influence so that you'll make an impact. You'll be a shipmate that others can count on. I learned that from a 3rd grade drop. Simple lessons. Lessons like these. Son, don't judge people. Son, I've worked at Cal Maritime. You know, I've been all over the world. I've seen good and bad in every shade. Don't judge people. The tendency of a person is to walk away from somebody that's different from them. You stay there and you get to know them. Never judge. Then he dropped Jonathan Swift on me, who said vision is the ability to see the invisible. Don't judge. Another lesson from this 3rd grade dropout. Son, you'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. We never knew what time it was in my house because the clocks were always ahead. We were on Cal Maritime. Come on, somebody. Well, watch this. My father had the breakfast and lunch shift here at the academy. He had to be at work at 5 o'clock. We lived on Louisiana Street, 15 minutes away. My mother said for nearly 30 years, my father left the house at 3:45 in the morning. One day she asked him, "Why, Daddy?" He said, "Maybe one of my boys will catch me in the act of excellence." I want to share a few things with you. Aristotle said, "You are what you repeatedly do." Therefore, excellence ought to be a habit, not an act. Don't ever forget that. The other thing I want to share with you is Harvard Business Review, September 2004. The article is titled, Deep Smarts. Here's the thesis. Lecturing, what our universities are based upon, is the worst kind of teaching method, usually. Present company excluded. That if you want to get the intended message across, model the behavior. My daddy, a third grade dropout, a cook, was modeling excellence for his boys, combining academic knowledge and old school wisdom. That's what makes an impact. An impact is you go all over the world. You're not interested in making a nice impression. You want to make an impact. Lesson number 3, be kind to people. He always told us kind deeds are never lost. I get to do a lot of NFL chapels. You see some amazing things with those National Football League players. You see guys that can bench press 200, 300 pounds 20 times. You see folks that are huge, that can run like a deer. You see folks from a flat-footed position, jump 40 inches, 40-inch vertical leap. I even saw a white guy do it once. But the point you know what stops me in my tracks? When I see one of those rich folks show kindness. It literally stops the world. George Washington Carver said, when common people do common things in uncommon ways, they command the attention of the world. I just described your grandmother. I know you're tough. I know you're seaworthy, but always remember to be kind. Always. Don't ever forget that. Never embarrass mama. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If mommy ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. If daddy ain't happy, don't nobody care, but you know. Next lesson. Lesson from a cook over there in the galley. Son, make sure your servant's towel is bigger than your ego. I want to remind you, cadets, of something as you graduate. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Y'all might have a relative in mind you want to send that to. Let me say it again. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Pride is the burden of a foolish person. You'll never be a great shipmate. You'll never be a great executive. You'll never be a great teammate if it's all about you. You'll never be a great supervisor or council person if it's all about you. You'll never be a great staff member if it's all about you. Rather, make sure that servant's towel is always big. On President Crawford's bookshelf, in his bookshelf, he has every book from Plato's Republic to Lessons in Leadership by Coach Wooden. John Wooden coached basketball at UCLA for a living, but his calling was to impact people. And with all those national championships, guess what he was found doing in the middle of the week? Going into the cupboard, grabbing a broom, and sweeping his own gym floor. You want to make an impact? Find your broom. Every day of your life, you find your broom. You grow your influence that way. That way you're attracting people so that you can impact them. Final lesson. Son, if you're going to do a job, do it right. I don't have to tell you all that calendar time. And I know grammatically that's not correct. It ought to be do it well, but I like that old school ghetto kind of do it the right way. I'm thinking about a little boy in Los Angeles. All he wants to do is play Little League Baseball. His mother can't even afford to buy him a glove. And he eventually plays Little League, and he's really good. And he's so good he gets a scholarship to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And he's so good he gets drafted by the San Diego Padres. And he's so good he helps the St. Louis Cardinals win a World Series. And 12 years ago, when Ozzie Smith walked into the Hall of Fame, he said during his induction speech, and in part I quote word for word, he said, I've always been told how average I can be. Always been criticized about being average. But I want to tell you something. I stand here before you, before all of these people, not listening to those words, but telling myself every single day to shoot for the stars, to be the best that I can be. Good enough isn't good enough if it can be better. And better isn't good enough if it can be best. That's the California Maritime way. Good enough isn't good enough if it can be better. Better isn't good enough if it can be best. Let me close.
Thank you very much, Audrey, for those words in the video. Thank you, Emily, for the poem. At this point, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. So at this time, if our graduates could please proceed to this side of the stage. It is time for the presentation of diplomas. Ladies and gentlemen, the following students have successfully completed the general educational development requirements as set forth by GED Testing Service and the North Dakota Department of Public Instruction and the Grand Forks Public Schools. They are Alana Eldaco, Alex Austin, Carolina Vagin, Rajan Beach, Chase Boudreau, Jameis Duke, Emily Iris Friesen, Isaac Layton, Makoa James Martin, Ayan Mohammed Mahamoud, Ashton Searle, Isaac Terrell, Nathan Tinkler, great big congratulations to our 13 graduates who were able to be here this evening. I would also like to congratulate the additional 13 students who made it to the same ceremony or the same event over the course of the year, but were unable to be here this evening. Those 13 students are just as important and are also listed in the program with all the rest of our graduates. How about we give those 13 individuals a round of applause? All the young students sitting here right now, we have so many cupcakes in the commons right now. There are plenty. You've been patient as you're waiting. I expect each of those young people to eat at least 2 cupcakes. All of the old people are more than welcome to have at least 1 cupcake, along with some water and some candy and other things. Please join us in the commons at Community High School immediately following the ceremony for pictures and celebration for our graduates this evening. In closing, to our graduates, As adult learners, you know how important education is in your lives. Many of you have come a long way on this educational journey to get to this moment. You thought you could, and you did. You thought you could, and you did. So let's continue on. Continue on that journey. Congratulations to you all. At this time, I would ask the class of 2019, would you please stand? Would you please turn and face the audience? Graduates, please move your tassels to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present the 2019 Grand Forks Adult Learning Center graduating class.